So yeah, Robotix. The American answer to the original Tony toy line Zoids, which are far better by comparison, and sadly denied a cartoon series. And no, I won't start in the anime version of Zoids either. That's something completely different. Gotta say though, I did love that theme song. Anyway, I digress. I sadly do a lot of that. It's probably no mystery from the tone of my voice, I despise this series. But it's from my generation, and I watched it, so I guess I have to cover it eventually, so I'll get it over and done with early on. But before I do, I guess I have to make some comparison between this series and the original Marvel UK Zoid story in the Spider-Man and Zoids comic. And I'm sure some of my old friends, particularly those who work in the Sheffield Space Centre, will be quick to berate me if I don't. Spider-Man and Zoids was a comic published in the UK combining the American Spider-Man comic with the British comic Zoids. I don't know why. It was either because the UK stories were only 8 to 12 pages long, or they felt the series couldn't be successful without the iconic Marvel character carrying it. That's a shame really, as the Zoids comic was very well written, dark, and actually better than the flagship character story, who at the time was wearing the infamous black suit. It ran for 52 issues and followed the story of a maroon crew, and yes, like the Robotix, one with a father and son, only far less annoying, on an alien world where massive machines fought each other. Only this wasn't a tale of good versus evil. All the Zoids in this comic were as vicious and as non-discriminating in who they killed as each other. To start with, the Blue Zoids fought amongst themselves and then united as the Red Zoid faction grew in number. And no, the Blue Zoids were still not the good guys. So what we have here is a survival tale of sorts, with the humans trying to survive a hostile world, much like the Aliens franchise or even The Walking Dead. In fact, there are echoes of both franchises in the story. All in all, a much better and darker story than this drivel I'm about to review, and much more deserving of its own show. Still, I guess we're stuck with Robotix. So I won't waste any more time as we delve into this travesty that was the Robotix movie. And the worst Zoids ripoff ever. And don't you worry folks, we'll be getting back to the original Zoids comic in due time. It's far more entertaining than what we're about to delve into now.
To survive a cosmic storm that devastates their planet, the Protectons and Terracores are forced to transfer their essences into the huge, powerful bodies of Robotix. And once again, the ancient hostilities between the valiant Protectons and the evil Terracores erupt into violence, each side made stronger by an organic interface with human beings.
Who puts the future in your hands?
Do you have any idea how difficult it was not to sleep through this again? It's seriously that boring. I'm trying to find something exciting about it, but God, there's nothing I haven't seen in Transformers already. Big deal, so there are robots in it which can pass as caricatures rather than characters. I mean, there's nothing but black and white here, good and evil, which I suppose was the norm of the 1980s cartoon flair. But here, there is just no motivation for the characters. They are just there. That's it. Even what passes off for motivations just seems forced. I'm not sure if I made this clear enough yet. But this is just boring. The fights are dull, the plots are just eye candy, and as I said before, the characters are just there for the sake of being there. If this is an hour-and-a-half long toy commercial, then it's little wonder I didn't buy the toys. I mean, compare this.
Future in your hands. Your own creation to command.
To this.
Bring that bitch!
Motherfucking T-Rex! I'm the motherfucking T-Rex! I'm the motherfucking T-Rex!
yeah, Zoidzilla wins every time. Okay, sorry, I won't compare this to Zoids again until the end of the review. Even then. But, God, it's so damn difficult to understand why the Zoids were overlooked in favour of this. I mean, what were the Marvel animation team thinking? I mean, I'm looking at the IMDb listing now, and this thing got a 7 out of 10? Or 4? It's a pretty high score, even for one of the most mediocre Marvel cartoons I had to sit through. And that's from 74 votes with one very small 10-star review from the USSR. That's a great movie. I really should check out this on Rotten Tomatoes. And surprise, surprise, no one's giving it any notice. This one made it under the radar for a reason, folks, and it's no surprise it was in the bargain bin in the VHS stores in no time. Compared to its sister release, The Inhumanoids, which was a far more enjoyable romp than this one, if not more macabre for its time, Robotix remains a forgettable chapter in Marvel Animation's dominant history of the 80s. A few critics have even said it marked the beginning of the end for Marvel's dominance over the toy animation franchise, as their series became more and more the same as the time progressed, only to have their licenses ripped away from them in favour for the likes of DIC and Sunbow. Well, I suppose Marvel could only ride on the coattails of its only real major success, Transformers the movie, for so long, and even then that was only with the financial support of Canon Films, who bought us another toy line travesty I've already covered.
There is a place where legends are born, where the light confronts the dark. A world of incredible mystery, magic, and adventure. A world where colossal powers will collide in a battle to control the universe. The place is Earth. The time is now. Masters of the Universe. Dolph Lundgren is He-Man, Frank Langella is Skeletor, and Meg Foster is Evil Lynn. Masters of the Universe, coming to Earth this summer.
God, I hate that movie. But Skeletor is still awesome. So, we open with our human heroes being shot at in their ship by... I haven't got a fucking clue. It's not like we'll be seeing that ship again. Anyway, you should just listen to the names in this scene. Is it me or do they sound like they were named after a visit to a bar that serves spirits?
Hang on, guys. Have one more trick up my sleeve.
It's too late, Exeter. Thanks to you, we're dead meat now.
Canuck, stop your knees knocking so I can hear myself think.
Yeah, get off his case, Canuck. He saved your neck 1,000,000 times. And he's gonna do it this time, too.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Zaru. I just hope you're right.
Guess it would explain how the writer felt. I'd be drinking heavily after this round.
Our instruments indicate a total loss of power. I suggest we prepare for severe impact.
What our unemotional Spock wannabe means is, folks, is that they're gonna crash! Why you can't just say so, I have no idea. And look, as I said, no explanation as to why they were being shot at. No backstory to help us. They were shot at... well, because plot.
That battle cruiser left us for dead. And from the looks of this place, I can see why.
And man, are the crew and passengers just whiners? But hey, if not for just plot, we wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't be able to see the cool robot action where each robot calls out each other's names so that we can know who they are. Not that it helps, because I almost forget them so easily after 30 seconds.
Look out!
What are those things?
Surrender us, or you will never survive. I will never surrender to you, Nemesis! Derek, stand still so I can fuse you to the ground.
Tyrannix! You couldn't hit the broadside of a planet!
What's the matter, Stegor? Lose your taste for battle? No, Grunt. I've gained a taste for steel. Nora scared of Ghoul?
In a word, no.
And guess what? They're fighting because, well, plot. So of course the Protectons agree to help the humans fix their ship. I kid you not, that's what they're called. As opposed to their opponents, the Terracors. Seriously, it's easy to pick out the almost racist undertones in the 80s if you delve deep enough into the shows of the time. The Protectons were mammals before they had their essences transferred into the Robotix, and the Terracors were of course warlike reptilians, bent on taking over the world.
Of course!
Hell, they even use the words good and evil to describe themselves. I suppose that makes major network reporting so much easier on their world when you think about it. At least their politicians are honest about being evil. I'm sorry, but looking at the Transformers, Megatron at least had some reason for his drive to create a better Cybertron. No matter what you thought of his overall methods or eventual motivations corrupted over time. Well, back to the plot such as it is. The Terracors attack again. And it's in this conflict we discover something that's supposed to be cool if it wasn't so unimpressive. Yes, the robots, when interfaced with a human pilot, are actually stronger and more versatile, which makes for the primary core premise of the show. Wow, I haven't seen this before, have I?
Transformers!
And yes, like the headmasters, the young boy gets the female robot. That's two levels of disturbing right there. One, that a young boy and a female robot are so deeply connected that it's almost sexual.
Okay.
What's happening?
I don't know, but it sure is neat. Let's try this one. Hey!
And that the kid is allowed to fight in a dangerous war against evil. That's some great parenting there, Commander X. And yeah, the predictable happens as the whiner joins the bad guys, believing he has leverage evening the odds. Not very smart, really. It's always better to side with the winners out for your well-being than the clearly evil guy who will crush you like a bug when your usefulness is done. But when you're named after a Cardassian alcoholic beverage, I guess a functioning brain cell is too much to ask for. Well, all he did was make matters worse for himself and everybody else. Yeah, evil and all, but fucking stupid in the long run. Reminds me of another stupid villain in another movie I saw recently. What was it now?
On Krypton, the genetic template for every being yet to be born is encoded in the Registry of Citizens. Your father stole the registry's codex and stored it in the capsule that brought you here.
For what purpose?
So that Krypton can live again. On Earth. Where is the codex, Cal?
If Krypton lives again, what happens to Earth?
The foundation has to be built on something. Even your father recognized that.
No, Zod. I can't be a part of this.
Then what can you be a part of?
No! Not! No! No!
Oh yeah, that one. Fucking smart move there, General Zod, revealing your plan to commit genocide on Earth to the guy who lived on the planet all his life! If the writer of Man of Steel had any relation to the team who produced Robotix, I would not in the least bit be surprised. So eventually we get what passes for exposition in the story. And yeah, I'll be quick to catch on to the plot hole. The Protectons and the Terracors. God, I can't even get used to saying those stupid names. Were facing a catastrophe on their world that would have wiped them out had they not worked together to save their races by putting them all into cryogenic sleep. I'm not kidding, folks. The entire population in cryogenic sleep. I'm still trying to figure out why the Protectons are called the Protectons. I mean, what were they protecting? From what? The Terracors? This isn't even made clear in the film until a plot point is introduced.
Put yours. You go first.
Together, then. But the unexpected forced CompuCore to take emergency action.
Radiation levels lethal. Essence transfer to CompuCore commencing. Radiation levels normal. Essence transfer to robotics commencing.
What has happened to me? I have become a Robotix! No!
Yep, CompuCore. The dumbest central intelligence ever. No, seriously, this thing is so fucking dumb, and the Protectons are just as dumb for not programming safeguards. It obeys the Terracors just as much, and nearly costs the good guys their lives at every turn. I mean, it allowed the Nemesis to stop an essence of download of a Protecton, and instead delete it in favour of a Terracon to work within the ranks of the Protectons as a spy. And they are none the wiser. And at this point, all I'm having to say is, they fucking deserve to be destroyed.
Some people are really fucking stupid. Did you ever notice that? How many really stupid people you run into during the day? God damn, there's a lot of stupid bastards walking around. Carry a little pad and pencil with you. You wind up with 30 or 40 names by the end of the day. Look at it this way. Think of how stupid the average person is, and then realize half of them are stupider than that.
I mean, seriously, this is how dumb they are. It's so fucking frustrating that this is my fourth take on this scene alone. Because I can't pronounce the Protectons. Hey, I pronounced it now. God, I feel like an idiot. Now granted, they need food to survive, a resource fast running out, and Canuck being smart is now with the Terror Corps, and himself is running low on food. Yes, granted, he stole the food from the good guys, increasing his rations somewhat, but he's still gonna run out, isn't he? Which is why working with the Protecticons, whatever the fuck they're called, was a better idea, you moron. But let's not be too harsh, as he was smart enough to steal the guidance system of a ship that they were fixing, that the good guys didn't even notice before they took off. Oh dear God. Haven't they even heard of a systems check? Anyway, they launched the Terror Corps attack with their human interfaces as an advantage, and the now weakened good guys are nearly defeated, and the humans decide to return.
Nuts. Why couldn't those lousy Terror Corps wait till after we left to attack?
The Protectons are done for.
Yeah, they haven't got a chance. It's a shame we couldn't...
I'm not feeling so hungry anymore.
You know, I could stand a diet for a couple of days.
Prepare to interface the instant we land.
Yeah, all right!
They're coming back.
Then the battle is not yet lost.
The guidance system, it's not working.
Correction. The guidance system is gone.
Now's a heck of a time for you to notice.
And crash. Thanks to their guidance system being gone. At least they survived, right? Please, please, please don't let them have survived. Don't let them have survived. Don't let them have survived. Fuck. This movie's gonna go on, isn't it? Anyway, the tide is turned, the spaceship is destroyed again, and we're back to square fucking one, and even less food for which the humans to survive on.
Hang in there, Lara! Okay, let's show them what we can do.
No, let's go get my leg.
Right!
Terror Corps, regroup!
Thank you, Exeter. You and your friends have saved our lives.
Exeter, I'm sorry, but I'm so hungry.
He's passed out from hunger.
Well, this is looking bleak for our heroes now, isn't it? Like I said, so dumb they deserve to die.
Unfortunately, Toron's tests show the food on Skalor is poisonous.
But those tests were of this region. Perhaps come with me. Now that CompuCore knows your nutritional requirements, she can scan the surface of Skalor for edible vegetation.
Great. Knowing how stupid this machine is, she'll probably bring back some poison ivy and kill them all. We can only hope.
Vegetation located. 47 Dronex north of Crystal Mountains.
That's terrific.
Food! At last!
Oh, fucking hell. And we're only half an hour through, folks. I'm gonna give my brain a rest at this point. I haven't had this much to say about nothing in so long. And I've got a lot more to say in part 2. God help us all.
Yeah.
What?